Judgment is something that we all suffer with to different degrees. Some of us more than others, and moving beyond judgment is a key to having a more relaxed, content life. Judgment works by either feeling like you're being judged by other people or that you're constantly judging yourself. Both things can be equally difficult to handle, painful, and can actually stop you taking any action, because what I describe as the judgment is the judge, the character, the judge. When the judge is relevant in your life, you go completely to focusing on any judgment that you're making, and it takes away it focuses you on the one feeling of whatever the judge is saying. I noticed this today in something as simple as doing my yoga practice and how I was bending a particular way. And one of the hardest things I find in yoga is to be able to just drop into the pose without actually judging the quality of the pose, like how well am I doing it, or how good is it going. And the minute the judge is there, the minute I make the judgment, I then start to compare what I think I should be like to what I am like, and that creates an uneasy feeling in me of perhaps not good enough, inadequate, I can't do it, why do I even bother? All sorts of things I'm sure you can relate to. So this is perhaps fine when we're looking at it from a yoga point of view. Well, it's not really, it's going to hamper my practice. But where it really starts to affect people in their lives is their self-judgment in day-to-day life and their judgment of what they think other people think of them. So you may feel judged by your mother, you may feel judged by your partner, you may feel judged even by your children, you may feel judged by any other family member, a sister, brother-in-law, could be anything. And you will get taken away by the judgment that they are putting onto you. And you will get focused on and complain about, they think this of me, or they think that of me, or what if they think this of me, or what if they think that of me. The next critical part of judgment is the self-judgment, like the judgment I did today with my yoga mat, with my yoga practice. The self-judgment will kick in. Sometimes it's triggered from the judgment of other people, but then you'll end up judging yourself and questioning whether you're doing a good job, whether you're doing it right, whether people will love you, whether people will like you. And that as well is debilitating. It will stop you taking action, it will make you unhappy, and it will make you feel not good enough, or some version of not good enough. And if you think about it from the point of view of when someone else judges you, that in itself is not a big problem. The problem is what you do with that judgment. It kicks off an internal judgment. So really we live like there are two forms of judgment: judgment from others and judgment from self. But there is really only one ultimate form, and it is judgment of self. The originating idea of the judgment may come from something you're doing and your expectation of what you need to be doing, or it may be triggered by someone else's saying something about you and your understanding and judgment of what they say. So let's look at a couple of examples of that so you can understand that at a deeper level. Let's say that we yell at our children. Let's say you yell at your children because they do something that annoys you, upsets you, frustrates you, or that you don't want them to be doing. And let's say you yell more harshly than you think you normally would. Then often that can be followed with a judgment. I shouldn't have yelled at them as bad. I've upset them. I shouldn't have upset them. It wasn't what I wanted to do. I don't want to behave like that. And the yelling outweighed the thing they were doing, which could be small, right? If you know that, if you're a parent, you know that you can be having a day where lots is going on for you, and then the kids do something small and all of a sudden you overreact, you snap at them. Then you could judge yourself at how you snapped at them and how you yelled at them. Let's say you're doing something simple like cooking the dinner, and then you put this is easy, everybody's done this in their lifetime, I'm sure. You put the cheese toasters on to cook and grill, and then you walk away and you forget, or something distracts you, you forget that you put the cheese toasters on, and all of a sudden they're burning. And as they burn, then you run back and you grab them and you're immediately judging yourself. Damn, how did I lose concentration? Why did I do that? Now I've screwed up the cheese toasters. Now I have to remake cheese toasties. Whatever it might be, self-judgment can happen in an instant. Let's imagine you want to be kind and loving in your relationship and you have that expectation, but your partner says something that you feel like you need to defend or need to be right about. So you go off on a tangent of proving how you're right and how your way of thinking is right and how they're wrong. And then afterwards, or while you're doing it, you go, damn, I really didn't want to do that. I would rather just keep a happy relationship where we get on and we're connected versus being right about something. Why did I do that? What's the matter with me? These are all forms of self-judgment, and there are millions of them. A little bit like my self-judgment during the yoga practice. It can be a sport event, it can be anything. There are just so many forms of self-judgment. You should drop me a comment below of what your favourite forms of self-judgment are. When I say favourite, that sounds weird because it's like, well, doesn't it cause me pain? Well, this is the thing about it. It does cause us pain ultimately, but we still do it over and over again. I want to make a separate distinction here, just as we're going through, between you and the judge. The judge is a character trait you show up as. It's not inherent in you. If I dissected you, took you apart, I wouldn't find any judge inside you. And interestingly, I'll have to do this in another video, but it's an ego creation to keep you safe and keep you loved. It's actually designed to have a positive effect, but what it does, it has a negative effect. The point to get here is that you are not the judge. The judge is running on automatic. It's waiting just there in the background for you to find something it can judge you over. You imagine taking a courtroom, you've got a judge who's sitting on the bench. People keep walking into that courtroom. The judge's only job is to judge whoever, whatever comes in front of him. You have a judge that's exactly the same. It's sitting in a metaphorical courtroom, waiting to judge you for any deficiency or anywhere it feels that you are lacking or letting yourself down. It's a protection mechanism to try to keep you alert, to have you do better next time. But it just has gone ballistic in its attempt at keeping you safe. And now it runs on automatic pilot. The point is notice, where are you judging yourself continuously, constantly, often, and drop me that comment down below. The thing about that is, even as people start to drop comments, what you'll notice is some of their judgments are judgments you do, and you can actually like those ones so they know you do it too. What you'll realize is there are thousands of possible judgments out there. We pick, like what I call a smorgasbord of judgments, we pick between a certain amount of them to allow ourselves to judge ourselves. And then we get into the story and the meaning about what the judgment means. And it makes us ultimately unhappy or feel like we're not doing a good enough job. That is self-judgment. So that's self-judgment. The next form of judgment is judgment by a family member, a brother, a sister, even your husband, wife, your mum, dad, any friend that you're close to, or even can be an organisation, to be honest with you. If you get judged, there's just thousands of areas you're waiting to be judged in by another person. And what that looks like is, it looks like you walk in front of, this happened to me the other day actually, I might have already shared in one of my other videos, but you walk in front of your wife while she's videoing a surrounding area, and she's like, why are you walking in front of me? Can't you see I'm videoing? That's a judgment. Can be a judgment. You can also judge other people in the same way. So the judgment goes around and around. Another common judgment might be, why did they do that? They should know better than that. What's the matter with them? I've told them that before. That's another form of judgment. Another place, often being judged can cause anger and frustration as well. So another place where I notice that I feel judged is if I'm driving my car and I make a mistake or make an error, and then somebody toots their horn at me or yells at me or something, I feel like they're judging my driving when all I did was make a mistake, and they're just judging me for not driving properly. That's a commonplace, that we judge others and they judge us. Moving towards parents, we feel often constantly judged by our parents, like we're not doing the job that they want us to do. And so often we will feel that they're judging us by saying that we're not doing a good enough job, or we should have done better somewhere, or that why didn't we do it the way they wanted us to do it. We'll often feel that they're judging us. So again, comment, where do you feel that your parents judge you? Brothers, sisters, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, this is an area where we often feel judged as well, like as if they're telling us the way that they think we should do it, or the way we would be better, and that can often cause an upset for us as well. So just you need to look and just let yourself sit in, where am I judged? So much of personal development work and breakthrough work and therapy talks about how to remedy the situation. And I'm going to give you a couple of exercises in a minute that might help. But what we really want to do is we want to notice the process and really ask ourselves, instead of finding out how do we stop judging ourselves, we want to dilute the process so it has less effect on us. And we do that by understanding where it comes from and the motivation and what's behind the meaning. We don't have to fix everything or have an answer to everything to start to feel better. So what I want you to do here is not find a solution, the answer for self-judgment or judgment by others. I want you to allow yourself to start to question, what is the judgment actually about and what does it actually mean? This is why I'm asking you to make the comments, because if you make the comments, actually getting it down and writing it and getting it out of your mind will make a massive difference just on its own. And then actually seeing that someone else does the same judgment is a year's worth of therapy in itself, to actually get that the judgment is not only you, it's a human behaviour. It's a trait that humans have, and everybody does it to some level, and everybody finds some way of dealing with it, and everybody has a level to which it affects them, and everybody has a defence of that level. Now what you'll find is when you can observe the judgment, we want to become the observer of the judgment. We don't want to get caught up in the judgment. So let's take my yoga practice today. I was bending a certain way, and I could see the teacher was bending really far forward. And I'm going, wow, I just can't do that. I don't get any flexibility there at all. No wonder my back hurts a lot of the time if it's supposed to bend like that. How long will I have to do it for? What's the matter with me that I can't do this practice, this bend this way? So as I'm experiencing that, I can get into the story, the meaning. There must be something wrong with me. I need to fix this. This is going to cause me a problem. I can get into any of that, or I can, and this is what I'm inviting you to do. I want you to start to observe the judge. The judge will go off a little bit. You probably heard them in the courtrooms. They'll go off in a sum up. They'll make a summary. They'll give their judgment. In fact, sometimes I've heard them, they summarise first before they give their judgment, but often they'll give their judgment and then they'll justify their judgment. That's exactly what you do. That's what judgment is. You judge first and then you give a summary justification of why you made the judgment. I'm inviting you to stop doing that. I'm inviting you to realise that the purpose of judging is to judge. It's not for anything else. The purpose of judging is to judge. It doesn't have any other purpose. You judge others to make yourself feel better and more validated. They judge you to make them feel better and more validated. In order to break free of the cycle of the feelings that you are creating when you self-judge, you need to become an observer of the judge and an observer of the judgment. That's the first step. So in my yoga practice, when I heard the judge say what the judge said to me about my bend, I breathe, and I thank the judge for being there and thank the judge for sharing. I acknowledge in myself that the judge has shown up because it thinks I'm not doing a good job, and it's trying to convince me that I'm not doing a good job. This is the same for other people and for yourself. When you judge yourself or when you feel judged by other people, it's always negative about you not doing a good job or not doing something right. You take it negatively instead of just letting them judge. My sister will judge me. That's all there is to it. I can't do anything about it. She has an opinion about the way I should live my life. Gail will judge me. I can't do anything about it. She has an opinion about the way I should live my life. I will judge me. I have an opinion about the way I should live my life. My mother will judge me. She has an opinion about the way I should live my life. Everybody has these opinions, this judgment. There are people that voice the judgment to you, the less secure people, the ones that are trying to make them feel more superior and better because inside they feel more inadequate. And there are people that will keep it to themselves because they are more intent on making themselves feel worse and feel bad about themselves. They don't want other people to feel bad. Both, it doesn't matter whether their judgment comes out or doesn't come out. You can say anything you like about me, any judgment you want, and that is your judgment. That judgment, and about $5 now in Australia, will get you a cup of coffee. It has no inherent value. It is just a judgment. Now, if you want to educate me, teach me something, then I might question it, see if there's a lesson from it. But during the yoga practice, the only purpose of that judgment was to make me feel like I wasn't doing a good job. Now, maybe it brought awareness to the pose I was in, and I can focus and get some growth from that, but I know the energy behind the experience, and that energy was not a growth energy. That energy was a you're doing a bad job energy. So what I'd like you to consider, what I'm inviting you to do, is before the judge runs riot in your life on automatic, you can actually take a breath and observe the judge. You are the one that's choosing to walk into the courtroom, I promise you. Any person can say anything they want about you, and it's your choice whether you walk into their courtroom. I make a conscious choice and a conscious daily effort to not walk into other people's courtrooms or the courtroom I've created for myself. That way it allows judgment and self-judgment to be at ease. I don't have to fix it, I don't have to change it, I don't have to take it away. I just have to be aware of it and let it be. I'm inviting you, the next time you feel judged by yourself, take a breath, relax, thank the judge for sharing, let it go. The next time you judge your husband or wife, take a breath, thank it for sharing, let it go. The next time you feel judged by your husband, your wife, your sister, your mum, your dad, I'm inviting you, take a breath, thank it for sharing, let it go. Instead of trying to fix it, get involved in it, give it meaning. Start to observe the judge for what the judge is. The judge is there to make judgments. It has no other purpose. You can let it go.